Success is not the result of massive overnight changes, nor does it stem from a single breakthrough, a stroke of luck, or one grand moment of transformation. It is born out of small, consistent improvements every single day. The key to lasting success is not sudden leaps, but rather the compounding effect of continuous progress. Improving by just 1% each day might seem insignificant in the moment, but over time it leads to extraordinary results. Many people fail to recognize the power of small changes. They believe improvement has to be dramatic and change must come quickly. When they look at successful people, they assume they got there because of talent, intelligence, or some special advantage. However, the truth is that success is built on tiny decisions, the choices made during quiet moments when no one is watching. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is the commitment to getting just a little better each and every day. Changing your life doesn't take a dramatic overhaul. It requires consistency. If you commit to improving by 1% each day, at the end of the year, you won't just be 365% better. Because of the compounding effect, you will be more than 37 times better than when you began. This is the difference between being average and being unstoppable. The difference between staying stagnant and transforming yourself in ways that others can only dream of. However, most people don't experience this kind of transformation because they give up too soon. They expect instant results, and when they don't see immediate progress, they quit. They go to the gym for a week, see no difference, and give up. They start a new habit, miss a few days, and abandon it. They take action, but when progress is slow, they lose motivation. Successful people think differently. They understand that real change happens over time. They don't focus on perfection or try to become 100% better in a single day. Instead, they commit to small, steady improvements, knowing that progress builds upon itself. They trust the process, show up every day, and do the work even when it feels like nothing is happening. Because they remain consistent, they eventually reach levels others only dream of. The secret is not in making massive leaps. It's in mastering the small things, the small habits, the micro improvements, and the tiny details that seem insignificant today, but build unstoppable momentum over time. If you focus on becoming just a little better than you were yesterday, that improvement will compound, and before you know it, your entire life will change. So the question is, how do you do it? How do you commit to getting just 1% better each day? How do you stay consistent when results are slow to appear? How do you build a system that guarantees progress, no matter how small, every single day? It all comes down to a few key principles. Principles that, when applied consistently, lay the foundation for lifelong growth. Once you understand them and start applying them, you will never feel stuck again. You won't have to wonder if success is possible for you, because you will know that as long as you are moving forward, even just a little bit, your future is improving. The truth is, improving by 1% every day isn't just a strategy. It's a mindset, a philosophy, a way of life. Once you commit to it, everything changes. The first key to improving by 1% every day is mastering consistency. Small improvements only compound when they're repeated over time. One great effort does not create transformation, daily effort does. The problem is that most people struggle with consistency. They start strong but fade quickly. They get excited about change but lose motivation when results are slow. They wait for inspiration instead of building discipline. Because they lack consistency, they never see the real impact of small improvements over time. To become unstoppable, you must make consistency non-negotiable. It cannot be something you do only when you feel like it. It must become a part of who you are. Just as you don't brush your teeth only when you feel motivated, you need to commit to improvement as a non-negotiable habit. The first step in mastering consistency is eliminating the mindset of perfection. Most people fail because they set unrealistic expectations. They believe that if they can't do something perfectly, they shouldn't do it at all. They tell themselves, if I don't have an hour to work out, I won't work out at all. If I don't have time to read a full chapter, I won't read at all. This all or nothing thinking is the fastest way to stay stuck. But successful people remove the need for perfection. If they can't do an hour, they do 10 minutes. If they can't do 10 minutes, they do 2. They know that doing something is always better than doing nothing. They don't focus on intensity, they focus on consistency. They train themselves to take some kind of action every single day, no matter how small. The second step is building systems, not relying on motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll feel inspired, other days you won't. If you only take action when you feel motivated, you will never be consistent. The key is to create systems that make improvement automatic. Systems eliminate the need for willpower, remove the guesswork, and make it easier to take action than to skip it. A system could be as simple as scheduling certain habits at a set time each day. If you want to improve your fitness, schedule your workouts at the same time every day. If you want to read more, commit to reading at a specific time, even if it's just for 5 minutes. If you want to develop a skill, dedicate a small window of time each day to practice. The more structured your habits, the less effort it takes to stay consistent. The third step is tracking progress. Tracking progress builds momentum. When you see improvement, even in small amounts, it fuels your motivation. However, most people don't track their progress. They don't notice the small wins, and because they don't see results fast enough, they assume they're not improving. This leads to frustration, which leads to quitting. Successful people track their habits. They use simple systems like a notebook, a calendar, or a checklist to visually see their consistency. When they work out, they mark it down. When they practice a skill, they record it. And when they see the streak growing, they become more motivated to keep going. This turns improvement into a game where progress is rewarding and quitting feels like a loss. The fourth step is removing obstacles to consistency. Many people struggle to stay consistent because their environment makes it difficult. They rely on willpower, instead of designing a space that supports their habits. If your phone is full of distractions, you'll struggle to focus. If your kitchen is full of junk food, you'll struggle to eat healthily. If your home is cluttered, you'll struggle with productivity. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you realize. Successful people design their environments for success. If they want to read more, they keep books where they can see them. If they want to exercise, they lay out their workout clothes the night before. If they want to eat healthier, they remove temptations. They set themselves up to win rather than relying on willpower. The final step is making identity-based decisions. Most people try to build habits by focusing on what they want to do. They say, I want to eat healthier. I want to wake up early. I want to be more disciplined. But they never become the kind of person who naturally does those things. Successful people don't just adopt new habits, they adopt a new identity. Instead of saying, I want to work out, they say, I am the type of person who never skips a workout. Instead of saying, I want to read more, they say, I am the type of person who never goes a day without learning. Instead of saying, I want to be more productive, they say, I am the type of person who makes the most of every hour. When you shift your identity, consistency becomes easier. You don't have to force yourself to take action. You do it because it's who you are. And when you act in alignment with that identity, small improvements happen automatically. So ask yourself, am I trying to change my actions or am I changing my identity? Am I waiting for motivation or am I building systems? Am I letting perfection stop me or am I choosing progress over excuses? Because once you master consistency, you unlock the power of small improvements, and once you improve by just 1% every day, nothing can stop you. The finish line is something many people focus on, but it's important to understand that the key to success is winning each day. The first step is to recognize that success comes in small victories. The third step is to celebrate these small wins, which helps reinforce progress. The human brain is wired to respond to rewards. When you acknowledge your wins, your brain releases dopamine, which increases motivation and strengthens new habits. However, most people ignore their progress and only celebrate the big milestones. Since those milestones take time to reach, they feel like they're not moving forward. Successful people make it a habit to recognize every win. They track their workouts and celebrate improvements, no matter how small. They keep a journal to document daily progress, even if it's just a single sentence about what went well. They give themselves credit for following through on their commitments. Because they acknowledge their progress, they stay motivated to continue moving forward. The fourth step is about compounding your wins by remaining consistent. Success is built in stages, much like climbing a staircase, where each small step builds upon the previous one. If you improve by just 1% each day, those small improvements will multiply over time. What may seem like a small win today can become a massive advantage in the future. It's like compound interest. Invest a little each day, and over time, the growth becomes exponential. The same principle applies to self-improvement. The first few days may feel slow, but the longer you remain consistent, the faster your progress will accelerate. Most people quit before they allow momentum to build. They stop before they see the true effects of compounding. However, those who stick with it will experience life-changing transformation. The final step is to shift your identity and become the type of person who always wins. Many people see success as something they achieve, but the most successful individuals see success as part of who they are. They don't just aim for improvement, they embody it. They don't just pursue goals, they become the type of person who naturally wins every day. If you want to improve by 1% each day, you need to change how you see yourself. Instead of saying, I want to be productive, say, I am the type of person who takes action every day. Instead of saying, I want to be disciplined, say, I am someone who follows through no matter what. Instead of saying, I hope I get better, say, I improve every single day. Your actions will always align with your identity. If you see yourself as someone who always wins, you will find ways to win, even when times are tough. If you see yourself as someone who improves each day, you will naturally seek ways to get better. Your habits will follow your self-image. So ask yourself, am I waiting for big wins, or am I stacking small wins every day? Am I striving for perfection, or am I focused on progress? Am I tracking and celebrating my success, or am I ignoring the progress I've already made? Because once you commit to small daily wins, success becomes inevitable. Once you develop the habit of stacking small wins, the next key to improving by 1% each day is developing an unstoppable mindset. Growth is not just about what you do, it's also about how you think. It's about how you see yourself, how you handle challenges, and how you push through resistance when things get tough. Many people sabotage their progress because they haven't trained their minds to support their success. They let fear, doubt, and hesitation take control. They start strong, but when faced with difficulty, they tell themselves, this is too hard. I'm not good enough. Maybe this isn't for me. And just like that, they stop. They break their streak, lose momentum, and return to their old ways. Successful people think differently. They don't wait for things to be easy. They don't wait for the right moment or until they feel confident. They don't let temporary emotions dictate their long-term success. They build a mindset so strong that no setback, no challenge, and no failure can stop them. The first step to developing an unstoppable mindset is to rewrite your self-picture. Most people see themselves as limited and tell themselves stories about why they can't succeed. They might say, "I'm not disciplined, I've never been good at this," or "I'm just not that kind of person." And because they believe these things, they act in ways that reinforce them. If you want to improve by 1% each day, you must upgrade your identity. You must tell yourself a new story. Instead of saying, "I struggle with consistency," say, "I am someone who shows up every day." Instead of saying, "I've never been confident," say, "I am becoming more confident every day." Instead of saying, "I'm not disciplined," say, "I am committed to my growth. I am someone who shows up every day." Your mind will believe whatever you tell it most often. If you tell it that you are weak, if you tell it that you are strong, you will act strong. If you tell it that you are unstoppable, you will find a way to push through any challenge. The second step is developing mental resilience, the ability to keep moving forward no matter what. Most people quit too soon. The moment they face resistance, they stop. They tell themselves, "This isn't working." But success isn't about avoiding resistance. It's about pushing through it. Think of it like lifting weights. The first few repetitions may be easy, but when you start feeling the burn, that's when growth happens. If you stop when it gets uncomfortable, you'll never build strength. The same applies to success. The moment things get difficult, that's when mental toughness is built. That's when you must push forward instead of giving up. The third step is to turn obstacles into fuel. Most people see problems as roadblocks. They think, "If only things were easier, I'd be successful." But successful people use obstacles as tools for growth. They look at every challenge and ask themselves, "How can this make me stronger?" If they face failure, they analyze it and learn from it. If they experience rejection, they use it to improve. If something goes wrong, they see it as a lesson. They understand that struggle is not a sign to quit. It's a sign that they are growing. The fourth step is building emotional control. Most people let their emotions dictate their actions. If they feel motivated, they take action. If they feel tired, they make excuses. If they feel discouraged, they stop. But successful people don't let their emotions control them. They take action no matter how they feel. They understand that motivation comes and goes, but commitment is what matters. They train themselves to push forward whether they feel like it or not. They develop the ability to detach from their emotions and focus on the mission. And because they act consistently, their emotions start to follow their actions, not the other way around. The final step is conditioning your mind for long-term success. Success is not a short-term game. It's not about quick results. It's about the ability to keep improving for years to come. To do that, you must train your mind to stay hungry. Most people reach a certain level of success and get comfortable. They make some progress and think, "This is enough." But successful people never stop pushing. They never stop growing. They never settle. They keep looking for ways to get 1% better, even when they're already winning. This is what separates those who succeed once from those who keep succeeding. The greatest athletes, leaders, and entrepreneurs in history didn't stop improving when they reached success. They pushed even harder. They understood that the moment you stop growing is the moment you start declining. So ask yourself, am I thinking like someone who improves every day? Am I making excuses or pushing through resistance? Am I using challenges to grow, or am I letting them hold me back? Because once you develop an unstoppable mindset, there's nothing that can keep you from improving by 1% each day.